What is consumer behavior? Consumer behavior refers to how individuals make decisions about spending their income on goods and services. This behavior depends on their preference, their income, the price of the goods or services that are available to them. It also shows how people try to maximize their satisfaction even though their resources are limited. On the other hand, economic distribution focuses on how a country's income are shared among its people. This is done through payments such as wages for labor, interest for capital, rent for land, and also profit for entrepreneurs. These two concepts are important because they help us understand how society works, from individual spending decision to national income fairness. When we apply it to real life, consumer behavior help businesses with strategy marketing, and economic distribution help government in forming a fair economic policies to reduce inequality.
Okay, I will explain about the consumer behavior, the law of diminishing marginal utilities with an example of Japan products. Okay, firstly, when a consumer continues to consume more than one unit of the same product, the extra satisfaction for each additional units will be decreased. Okay, that can be assumed all the consumption of all the goods remain constant. Alright, so the formula that can be used here is mu equal to change in total utility divided by change in quantity. For example, it can be applied in Toyota cars. Looking at the bar charts, Toyota car sells around 2.6 million of van around the worldwide. Okay, over the years, in 2010, the sale increased into 5.9 millions. Okay, even though many cars being sold doesn't mean individual consumer getting more satisfaction to buy for another car or maybe for extra car. Okay, let's say if the one person buy their first Toyota cars, it's gain the highest satisfaction because it meets the essential needs, which is the transportations, convenience, and also social status. Okay, but why? If they buy for their second Toyota cars, the additional benefits will be slowly decreased or the satisfaction will be decreased. Alright, this is because first, they already fulfill their needs, or maybe the second car doesn't improve their life as much as the first one. Alright, if they buy for a third and fourth car, the satisfaction might be dropped more and more, even become zero or negative. This is because they would face financial problems for a higher cost of the maintenance, tax, and juga fuels. Another causes is parking problem. This is because people who living in the cities are not used to living at the condominium and flats. So, the parking is limited to the individual. Okay, based on the graph, showing increase in total sales, but for individual consumer marginal utilities, per additional unit cars decrease. So, even the sales are increased doesn't mean consumer happier. Okay, the conclusion is more car consumed, less extra satisfaction per unit. Okay, that's all for me. Thank you.
Theory of economic distribution. First, I will talk about wages in Japan. In a competitive labor market like Japan, wages are determined by the supply and demand of labor. If demand is more than supply, for example, due to Japan's aging population, there will be a shortage of young workers. If supply is more than demand, there will be a surplus of labor. Next, I will talk about rent. In Japan, especially in Tokyo, rent is very expensive because land is limited, but many people want it. Companies will pay high rent to be closer to skilled workers and big markets. By the way, rent is not just for land, but it's also for using labor, capital, and entrepreneurship when there's being goods retail. Now, let's move to profit. In Japan, big companies like Toyota and Nippon often earn normal profit, which means they cover all their costs, including opportunity costs. When companies become more innovative, for example, by using AI and robotics, they can earn economy. Profit also comes from good cost control and smart business technology. And finally, I will explain interest. So, interest is the return paid for using money or capital. In Japan, interest rates are low because Bank of Japan want to encourage borrowing and spending. Low interest makes it easier for business and people to borrow money, especially in investment. In short, Japan used low interest rate and strong capital markets to support economic growth.
Good morning everyone. Today I will be sharing some key policy recommendation of Japan to make their economy stronger and also make people life better. So first, let's talk about Abenomics. Abenomics started in 2012 by Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. It has three main parts. So first, the government print more money to encourage people and also businesses spend. Second, the government also spend the money on the big project to create more jobs. And lastly, they improve healthcare, pension, job training and also education to support people in the long term. Next, Japan also focus on wages, rent and profit. So they slowly raise the minimum wage, especially in Tokyo, to help people afford their daily needs. Second, they also provided public housing to many people who couldn't pay at the high rent. And lastly, they promote equal pay for equal work to make things fair. In conclusion, this effort really helped Japan to grow their economy and also make people's life feel better. So that's all from me. Thank you.
For conclusion, I want to emphasize that Japan's economy is strong but still faces challenges like aging and inequality. Understanding consumer behavior is actually really important because how people choose to spend will affect the whole economy. Also, factor rewards like wages, interest, and profit are the key to keeping economy stable by rewarding work and resources. From my point of view, in the future, Japan should focus on policies that support both people and economy, like improving healthcare technology and offering flexible retirement options. By that, Japan can build a stronger and more stable economy.